Now, in his teaching about the end times, we remember that Yeshua used the image of birth pangs to illustrate how prophetic events would begin gradually, then increase in frequency and intensity as they move toward a complete fulfillment. And in the forefront of these events, sadly, is anti-Semitism. It just does not subside. Looking at Canada in the month of May, B'nai B'rith Canada reported that since 2022, there is an increase of 124.6% of anti-Jewish incidents. To mention one incident in British Columbia, in a suburb of Vancouver called Burnaby, the school district asked a question on a social study exam for 11, 12 years old. It asked, some believe that Jewish people deserve or need a homeland, while others believe that Israel should not exist. What's your perspective? Now the existence of Israel is even being put to question to young people. The school authorities later apologized, but this is one example of how far this dislike against Israel has reached. In Spain, last July 21st, a major surfing competition run by the World Surf League was canceled after the organizers that protested the fact that Israeli surfers would participate. It was canceled. In the annual European Song Contest, named Eurovision, the country of Iceland asked that Israel should be allowed to compete only under a neutral flag. They cannot tolerate the sight of an Israeli flag anymore. Furthermore, just last week, UN legal experts called for companies around the world to stop doing business with Israel, for they might eventually be accused of complicity in war crimes. The walls are closing in on Israel. Despite all the talk of peace in the Middle East, Israel continues to face growing isolation. But what is most troubling, however, is that anti-Jewish and anti-Israel sentiments are now increasingly appearing within evangelical Christianity in America, once considered one of the last strongholds of support and safety for the Jewish people. Lately, a few Christian media influencers have begun to put in question the U.S. support for Israel, and some are promoting some disturbing conspiracy theories against Israel. It's rising. To mention just a couple of them, one who has 20 million subscribers and followers across various platforms like TikTok, Twitter, and so on, Charlie Kirk, as well a well-known defender, actually, of the Christian faith, but lately he has been accusing American Jews of standing behind white replacement theory, which they say seeks to dilute white power in America by encouraging mass immigration. He said, and I quote, the larger financiers of left-wing, anti-white causes have been Jewish Americans. That is a surprising accusation, but one which 20 million of his subscribers, mostly young people, young Americans, would believe and develop anti-Jewish feelings. Along with him, another who has 16.3 million subscribers is Tucker Carlson, along with Candace Owens, who has 6.9 million followers. Both of them follow the same conspiracy theory, and both have been accused of hateful comments against Israel by Jewish American authorities. In the last war between Israel and Iran, Tucker said, drop Israel, let them fight their own wars. As for Owens, that is, she suggests some conspiracy like Israel orchestrated JFK assassination. She said that the Nazi Holocaust probably never happened, and she linked Jews to 9/11, as well as global media control and even more. But what is discouraging really is that these are known as born-again Christians, influencing millions of young born-again believers. Is Israel beginning to lose her only true friend in the United States? But these things should not surprise us, for this is part of end-time prophecies. Israel will go through this, and God tells us through Zechariah, in Zechariah 12:3, it will come, that is about in that day, that I will make Jerusalem a heavy stone for all people. All who lift it will be severely injured. and all the nations of the earth will be gathered against it. This prophecy reveals that a day will come when Israel will become a burdensome stone, an object of offense to all the nations, so that all the nations of the earth will gather against it. In fact, they will all meet in Israel at the end, in Armageddon. Could we be nearing this moment? All the lies and false accusations we see today laying groundwork, that is, for this fulfillment, or is it? Today, as evangelical Christians are called to rightly discern the flood of information directed against Israel, we must keep a few key truths in mind. Jesus was a Jew. They are his brothers, as he calls them in Matthew 25 when he comes to judge the nations. And Israel remains God's chosen nation. And no matter how the world shifts, one unchanging reality stands: God is in control. He watches over and governs every event with perfect precision. Interestingly, to this passage in Ezra chapter 1 to 3 reinforces this very truth. As we'll see, it powerfully reveals just how intimately involved God is in human affairs, and how even the smallest detail do not escape his attention.